Good morning. It is about a little over 12 hours or so plus since the last I spoke. As you can see, all the glass work, the initial set and stuff like that has been done. I'm going to be using these panels, like I've told you before. These are going to be the master molds for the top piece. Both the driver's door and also the passenger door was done at the same time to make things a hell of a lot easier. The way I did this was, again, I first put wax down, bridged the whole structure, the three pieces that were here, bridged them together so that they became one seamless object. Waxed the structure, rebolted it down, waxed it, and then I put PVA on. The next thing I did was I simply laid down a tack resin. I just covered the whole surface with resin, let it tack up to the point where it was not gooey, but sticky, like contact cement, kind of in a way. It felt like contact cement when you put your finger on it. The first thing I did was I put a 1.5 ounce cloth, fiberglass cloth down, which is basically it's a weave, and so what that allowed me to do was it gives me the high detail points right in sharp areas and stuff, such as in this area, and etc. Here in this corners, around this area, this detail point, which you wouldn't think this is much detail, but the problem is it drops. This is a solid from here to here. It's about 1.5 inch drop. So the radius, with the radius and the drop, it's a pretty hard pull to do. So I had to get that in there so I have structure, the glass structure, to give me good, without warping, basically. Is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do it without any kind of form of warping. And if I'd sit there and just stuff glass on here, the shrink rate would most likely cause this to buckle, literally buckle inward like this. The next one I did was I used a standard cloth. I'm sorry, not a cloth, but a roaming type of glass is very popular and stuff like that. Basically, all the fibers are orientated in different directions and stuff. This is a 2.5 ounce, I believe, and I went ahead and laid it down, and I did it in block sections. You can see here. One of the things that I like to do. Is that number one, I'll get large panels to cover, the most of the big areas and stuff like that. But when it comes to the edges and stuff, I'll actually cut myself and tailor up pieces so that I can lay it in there and get it down right, and then go ahead and brush it down, and then roller it. Because everything I do is, I got to roller it down because I need to pull all the air bubbles out of this structure so there's no air bubbles at all. The next thing I had to do was I had to pop the piece off. Now I just did this, but maybe about 5-6 minutes ago or so like that. It took me maybe 30 seconds, okay? And it's one of the beautiful reasons why I love using PVA, because it doesn't stick. And as you can see, the PVA is no longer on the surface. There's a couple of spots and stuff like that. But basically, it's just a wax surface, and the PVA is actually here in most cases. Now, all I got to do is take water and wash this down and stuff like that. It'll be perfectly fine. The next addition is going to be about building the framing work on top of here. That framing work needs to be done to keep this thing from shrinking would be one of the things, but mainly so it doesn't twist. And I don't want to have to go through, having to deal with this thing all twisted when I go to put it on here. I want it to go on just like it went on like a factory and fit like a factory piece. The bucket has also been made, the one that actually goes inside the door, as you can see here. And you kind of get an idea. And I put this on the other side of on the bottom side of this, and this is what the 8's going to fit into. The 8, literally, this is going to be a tough one. And the reason why I did all this fiberglass work is because of this. Two things. Number one, I hate weight. I hate the idea of building these. And everybody can get upset about me on this one. Those dumb ass freaking door panels that weigh a ton, they're built like crap, they're just a showpiece and that's it. They're not doing anything whatsoever in terms of performance, helping the driver. I mean, for God's sakes, you might as well just stick the driver in the door. It would be the same thing in a factory location, other than it just being this big showy piece. These door panels are different. These door panels are pure 100% full fiberglass closures with division structures inside, along with the ported. And because of the high detail of the 8-inch area, because it literally will go from here to there, I have to have fiberglass so that I can bond to it appropriately on the rings and stuff like that, so that when I'm done, it's built like a tank. You know, I want the structure here where this thing is mounted to be a very strong piece. So anyway, until a little later, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.